Hello and good morning, everyone. Thank you for the 7th International Conference on Industrial, Mechanical, Electrical, and Chemical Engineering 2021 to let me speak on this opportunity. My name is Fauziah Amelia A, and I just graduated from Industrial Engineering of Universitas Basmaret in Surakarta. And now I'm going to talk about my research, which also written with Mr. Yuni Aristanto, Professor Wahyudi Sutopo, and Mr. Muhammad Hisham. And the title of the research is Consumer Preferences of Electric Motorcycles in Indonesia, Choice-Based Conjoint Analysis. As we know, transportation is an aspect that cannot be separated from our life. Vehicles are needed to help humans do many things outside, such as going to school or workplace, traveling, and other activities that require transportation aspects in it. Motorcycles is one of the types of vehicles that is needed by Indonesian people, and the needs of Indonesian people for motorcycles continues to increase every year. But the development of this has negative impacts, such as produced gas emissions like carbon dioxide. Because of that, many parties are trying to develop vehicles that has minimal in emissions and environmentally friendly, and one of the alternatives is electric motorcycles. However, the distribution rate of electric motorcycles is very low compared to other types of vehicles that were sold in Indonesia. And because of that, Indonesian government is aiming to increase the growth of electric motorcycles and has set some policies that supports the growth of electric motorcycles, such as Presidential Decree number 55 of 2019, Regulation of the Governor of DKI Jakarta Province number 3 of 2020, Government Regulation number 73 of 2019, and Making Indonesia 4.1 Roadmap. These policies were inaugurated to pursue the Indonesian renewable energy mix target in 2015, which is to produce motorcycles reaching 10 million units with an export target of 1 million units per year and a population of environmentally friendly vehicles running 23% of the total sales volume. But, as I said before, the distribution rate, or we can also call it as the adoption process of electric motorcycles, is still low in Indonesia because until August 2020, only 2,000 units of electric motorcycles were sold. And so, this study helps to know why the adoption process of electric motorcycles is low in Indonesia. And choice-based conjoint analysis, or CBC, is used because it can measure consumer responses by presenting questions on how consumers make decisions. It can also measure the interactions between all attributes, which can be crucial in determining whether only one attribute affects the selection of the product or if there is an effect when two attributes are presented together. And in this case, CBC also supports to reach the goal of the study, which is what kind of combinations of motorcycles products are chosen according to the respondents' preferences, and how does it affect the adoption process of electric motorcycles in Indonesia. And in this study, the research method is divided into 4 steps. The first step is we made the adoption model. In this model, we use 2 independent factors, that is, technical factors and cost factors, and then one dependent factor, that is, purchase intention factor. And for this model, attributes and levels used in this study were also tested in previous studies. And so for technical factors, the attributes tests are charging duration, maximum range, maximum speed, availability of home charging, and type of charging technology. For cost factors, attributes tested are purchase price and energy cost. And for purchase intention factors, attributes tested are the desire to buy the product in the near future and the desire to recommend the product to others. After that, we made a questionnaire. This questionnaire is consisted in 6 parts. The first part is screening question. The second part is questions related to the profile of the respondents or socio-demographic. The third part is questions related to technical factors. The fourth part is questions related to cost factors. The fifth part is questions related to purchase intention factors. And the last part is choice combination. After we made the questionnaire, The next step is we do the online survey in April 2021, and after 2 weeks, we collected some data, and the data that we collected, now we can do the data processing. And this data processing is in many steps actually. And the first one is actually we tested the validity of the data using the Pearson bivariate correlation, and then reliability of the data using Cronbach alpha. After that, we then use descriptive statistics, choice-based conjoint analysis, and k-means clustering to do the analysis of this research. And so this is the result of this research. The first one is descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics in this study is used because it can describe or provide an overview of the investigated objects through sample data or population. And in this study, we use frequencies and percentage comparisons as the measurement method to see the distribution of respondents, such as provincial domicile, gender, monthly income, age, marital status, occupation, education level, and experience in using an electric motorcycle. And so the next thing we do is we do the choice-based conjoint analysis. In this analysis, we chose 8 attributes with choices of 2 until 3 levels that affected consumers' purchase intentions of electric motorcycles. And actually, the attributes mentioned before is all the attributes is shown here, and also we add one attribute that is vehicle type to help us distinguish which product that we want to show to the respondents. And we got 2,916 alternative hypotheses, but we cannot test it all. So then we carried out an orthogonal design to reduce the number of alternatives and provide some limits on some levels adapted to motorcycle products on the market today. By that, we obtained 3 alternatives for ICEM, 4 alternatives of ECM, and 6 alternatives of BEM. So we got 12 sets of questions. And this is the example of the set questions for the questions number 11. And then this is the summary results of the combinations answers. The first one is most respondents are interested in using a more environmentally friendly type of motorcycle. It can be seen from the results of ECM and BEM that is higher than ICEM product. But then for what exactly the type of the product is depend on preferences of the respondents, because in some questions for ECM is higher than BM on question 1, question 2, question 5, question 7, 8, 10, and 12. But for BM also higher in question 3, 4, 6, and then 9, and then 11. But actually, this does not show much differences because from all of these answers, the most preferred motorcycles by respondents are ones that has charging duration of 0 until 10 minutes, a maximum range of 70 until 100 km, a maximum speed of 40 until 60 km per hour, has accessibility to charging at home, and has energy cost in the range of 15 until 50 rupiahs per kilometer. And in this study, we also know that electric conversion motorcycle or ECM is more desirable by most respondents because the user only needs to replace the motorcycle engine. And after that, we did the k-means clustering. In this clustering, In this clustering, we use the approach conducted by Burst et al. To see the distribution of respondents' domicile based on age and monthly income. And each type of this um, analysis, we made it into three clusters. So for cluster one, it is dominated by, in age section, it is dominated by younger generation people with coming from lower range of monthly income, and dominated by people living in South Sulawesi, West Sumatra, South Sumatra, and North Sumatra. In cluster two of age, this cluster is dominated by younger generation people with lower range of monthly income, and is dominated by people living in Bali, Yogyakarta, Jakarta, West Java, Central Java, and East Java. And for cluster 3, this cluster is dominated by younger and middle generation people with monthly income in the high range of monthly income, and is dominated by people living in Jakarta, West Java, Central Java, East Java, and South Sumatra. And for monthly income, it's also divided into three types of cluster. The first cluster is dominated by the younger generation people with monthly income is in the low range of monthly income, and is dominated by people living in Jakarta, West Java, Central Java, and East Java. For cluster 2, uh, this cluster is dominated by younger generation people uh, with people coming from lower range of monthly income, and is dominated by people living in South Sumatra, North Sumatra, and other provinces. And the last part is the cluster 3 of monthly income is dominated by the younger generation people with monthly income is in the low range of monthly income, and is dominated by people living in Yogyakarta, Jakarta, West Java, Central Java, and East Java. So the conclusion for this study is the majority of respondents were very interested in using electric motorcycles. Based on choice-based conjoint analysis, electric conversion motorcycles is the most desirable product chosen by respondents because ECM only replacing the engine, which was previously a gasoline-fueled engine, into an electric fuel engine, with specifications such as charging duration of 0 until 10 minutes, a maximum range of 70 until 100 km, a maximum speed of 40 until 60 km per hour, has accessibility to charge at home, and has energy cost in the range of 15 until 50 rupiahs per kilometer. Many respondents liked the idea because of the low energy cost, which could also reduce maintenance costs incurred per year. Based on the analysis using k-mean clustering, it can be inferred that the domicile factor is quite influential to the adoption process of electric motorcycles. The readiness of the infrastructure and the regulations that apply in each region or province significantly affect people's interest in adopting electric motorcycles. For instance, people living in urban areas tend to be more interested in using electric motorcycles than people living in rural areas due to their ability to purchase, use, and charge the batteries are also more common and more accessible to do in urban areas than in rural areas. It is hoped that the development of technology, systems, and distribution processes for electric motorcycles in the future is expected to adapt to various demographic and geographical conditions of Indonesian people so that the adoption process of electric motorcycles can improve continuously. This is the end of the presentation, and thank you for listening.